Cutting cords is a really popular way of severing energetic connections with toxic people in your life and people that you no longer want to have a negative connection to. But there's different ways that you can cut cords, and some of them are more effective than others. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what successful cord cutting is and also how it relates to your shadow work. Hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, and if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about Wicca and witchcraft, you want to become a witch or a Wiccan, hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. This video is about shadow work and cord cutting. So what do I mean by cord cutting for a start? When you're doing your shadow work, or when you're doing work on yourself, or anything really, you're going to notice that there have been relationships either in your present or in your past that have not been particularly positive for you. And even if with other people you've had positive experiences with, or you do have a positive relationship with, there may be things that have been negative in your past that you're needing to cut away, that you're needing to sever, that is of a more negative and limiting energy. Cutting cords with somebody is about cutting those cords of connection between you that connect you from past lives, that could give you a kind of like a mutual karma with each other, where you've got this relationship going that is dysfunctional. So it's causing you a lot of pain, a lot of grief. It could be with somebody who is particularly narcissistic. It could be with parents. It can be with past lovers. It can be with siblings. It could be with anybody that you've shared a lot of emotional connection with in some way. So even if it's an ongoing or long-term, a working relationship with somebody that's been quite negative and quite dysfunctional, you may want to cut cords with that person so that energetically you're freeing yourself from that negative energy, and you're also freeing them at the same time. The beauty of cord cutting is that it doesn't harm anybody. It doesn't hurt anyone, it liberates. So it liberates you and it liberates them as well, so that you're not both coming together and constantly rerunning a program that is negative between the two of you, so that you're not reliving a pattern over and over and over again between the two of you. And it is part of shadow work, because shadow work, of course, is going within. It's finding those parts of yourself that are either holding you back from fully stepping into your power and being who you are, and also acknowledging those parts of yourself that you have deemed to be wrong or inappropriate, bad or even evil, and finding the gift and the positive aspects of these shadow qualities so that they no longer present themselves in a negative, dark, shadowy way. So a really good example of this is selfishness, for example. Being selfish is different from having self-care. So self-care is about knowing your boundaries, knowing when you can give and when you can't give, knowing when you have to keep something for yourself because it's necessary for you to hold on to it. And even sometimes keeping something for yourself because you know that by giving it, it may not actually really help that person, that you may actually be putting that person in a more dependent situation where they end up not being able to actually function for themselves because you keep giving all the time. Selfishness is where you're holding on to something or not giving out of fear of not having. So when it's in the shadow as selfishness, you're holding on to things because you're actually subconsciously afraid that if you give anything away and you don't try to hold on and accumulate these things, that somehow you're going to miss out, somehow you're going to lose, somehow you're going to end up in an unsafe situation. And when you find what that is in the selfishness, and you actually discover what you're afraid of that's making you selfish in the shadow, and then acknowledging that you want to be able to know when to say no and when to say yes to giving. And when you actually are able to integrate that selfishness, it actually starts to become self-care, and it's not coming from fear, It's actually coming from a knowing that right now I can't give in that way because it is going to be detrimental to me, or it's going to be detrimental to the other person, or both, or it's just not something I have to give right now. And you're coming from that place of just knowing that this isn't the right time, right place, rather than coming from a place of fear, which is where selfishness actually really does originate from. In fact, most of the shadow qualities come from fear. They come from the ego being afraid that if you don't do this action, or don't do this thing, or you do this action, you do this thing, that some harm is going to come to you in some way. So with selfishness, it's generally holding on to something or not giving out of fear of loss and losing something and going without. When it comes to shadow work, cord cutting is really important because a lot of our shadow qualities or our shadow reactions come, of course, and manifest in relationships with other people. So if you're wanting to start moving into getting to know yourself more, liberating yourself from these repetitive patterns with people, it's good to start off with a cord cutting from these people so that you can then start to work on yourself without still having to be energetically tied to the other person. So when it comes to cord cutting, there are some ways that work really well and ways that don't work really well. So generally, when you're doing a cord cutting, you'll go through a meditation, a guided meditation process, where you're brought into a relaxed state so that you're able to communicate with your subconscious mind, so the body's relaxed, you're in a trance state. You can speak directly to the subconscious mind. There's a lot of imagery. Usually you're in a nice place, someplace like a garden or somewhere that's very pleasant to you. You confront the other person. You have a conversation with them. You tell them all the things you want to say to them, good and bad. And then generally you will have a helper. And in most cases, particularly in the New Age community, that person will be Michael, the Archangel Michael. In pagan communities, it may be another deity. For example, Hecate would be an awesome deity to bring into a cord cutting because she's really good at that stuff. And they're actually the ones that cut the cords for you. So if it's the image of Hecate, for example, she would have a dagger, and at the right time in the meditation, she goes and she cuts all of the cords. So generally there's more than one cord that's joining you and the other person. They could be coming from various places, various chakras. Often, definitely from the heart chakra seems to be very common, and often from the solar plexus chakra as well, because that's the power center. And often when you're in a dysfunctional relationship with somebody, that power center is going to be very connected to a powerless situation. So often in conflicts, there's one person who tends to be more powerful than the other person. So you'll find that there may be a lot of solar plexus cords as well, and other subtle cords that may be going on. You may also find that you need to do more than one cord cutting session as well to cut all the cords with somebody, especially if it's been a very long-term relationship, it's a very deep relationship, or it's a relationship that comes from your childhood. But the process itself is actually quite simple. The deity or the helping spirit cuts the cords, and in a lot of cases of the visualization, that is pretty much what happens. The problem with just cutting the cords and not doing anything else with them is that the cords can actually grow back. Now, the cords can grow back anyway if you're still in contact with that person and you're still engaging with that person in a dysfunctional way. What actually can help the cords not come back, especially if it's someone you don't see very often, is to actually take those cords and actually plant them into the earth somewhere well away from that other person. So by planting the cords, you are actually giving the cords somewhere else in the earth to root itself. Generally a place that may be a favorite place of yours, maybe a sacred place. So they're rooted in that spot that's got something to do with you. So the cords then have been cut with that other person, and then they go back to the earth and connect with the energies of the earth and the sacredness of the earth and the sacredness of a place that is maybe special to you. And you do the same with that other person's cords. They go somewhere else as well, so that those cords don't reconnect with each other again. So that's a way of healing the cords so that they've got somewhere to go rather than to come back together again. Another way of working with cord cutting as well is for some people will actually remove the cords completely so that you're actually kind of left with a bit of a blank spot, much like with an umbilical cord, how you sort of cut the cord and then they've got to tie it, and then eventually it falls off and then everything heals. So some people will actually do a sort of a fusing practice onto the end of the cord, like a knotting of the cord, much like an umbilical cord, so that it doesn't connect back up as well. And that's another way that you can work with cord cutting. The importance is not to leave the cords dangling in space so that they can meet up again. And that's what makes a cord cutting more successful. So once the cords have been cut, you want to cut them from the front of you and the back and wherever else they may be. You're pretty much done. But what you really do have to make sure is that even if you have cut and tied or you've put those cords somewhere else, your relationship with that person, if it is still a relationship that you're having with that person, if you don't do the shadow work and the inner work on yourself and look at your limiting beliefs about yourself that may be putting you in a negative situation with this person or keeping you in a situation with this person, that's going to create new cords eventually. So new cords will end up forming simply because you haven't done the work on yourself to make yourself stronger, so that other person either moves out of your life or they change their attitude to you and stop treating you that way, and the relationship ends up taking on a totally different energy. So when you're doing shadow work and working on yourself and strengthening and empowering yourself and standing in your power, there's two things that will happen to the people around you. They will either change the way they react to you and come along with you on your road to expressing who you truly are and end up coming and supporting you, even if at first they don't, or they'll leave. That's the only options they have. They either stay and they change with you, or they leave. So that's why it's important to not just do a cord cutting and then think, oh, everything's hunky-dory, everything's okay, now I've cut cords, it's all going to be good. If you're still in contact with that person, you do need to still do the shadow work so that you don't grow new cords. And of course, if you are wanting to do shadow work with me, you can always have a chat with me. I offer a free chat over Zoom so we can have a talk about what is stopping you from moving forward, and then whatever it is that comes up out of that conversation, if you want to then work with me on removing those issues, then we can talk about that in the same conversation. I'll put the link to my calendar underneath this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to share it with your friends. And of course, comment and subscribe. I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com. Blessed be.